Hey folks, this is a little odd, I know, to have a video like this at a memorial service, but just want to express my sympathy, Sheila, to you, and Amy and Paul, to both of you, and for the grandkids and all. I want to talk a little bit for a few minutes about my friend Tony and what he meant to my life. Appreciate my friend Jerry doing the videoing today, and sorry about background noises and everything, but we just wanted to find somewhere we could make it just comfortable to talk for a few minutes. When you think about the influences on your life, you think about, of course, your parents, and one of the important roles that parents have is the role of making sure that their children have good influences on their life. And I was blessed by a tremendous group of heroes. Marty Glenn and Tim Shoemaker and Ben Vick and Henry Hufford and that group of guys and your dad and husband Tony. Man, what an impact they were on our life. But at some point, Tony kind of broke away from the pack, and I'll tell you when it was. We went on a mission trip in 1979 to San Ignacio in Belize, and you know this already. Your dad, husband, was a mountain of a man. He was bigger than life, and it didn't have to be around him long to realize this huge personality, this great big loud smile, friendliness that greeted you and hit you as soon as you're around them. But of course, you know, one of the things he did on that trip is he put together a little booklet. I still have my copy of the booklet. I tried to find it to pull it out and share it with you today, and I couldn't find it in my storage facility, so I wasn't able to pull it out. But I've been on about 35 mission trips since that one. And almost every time I go on a mission trip, I make a booklet like that. I don't always give it out, but I make a list of stories and things that happen. I remember one night Dad was preaching in one of the fountains, it was a dry fountain there in San Ignacio, in the kind of this court square, I guess it would be for them. And while Dad's preaching, of course, Dad had this hard fear of dogs. While Dad was preaching, all these dogs came up and gathered around the fountain. There were probably more dogs than people there, I think, and there were a lot of folks there. But I remember that Tony wrote in the book, Jerry's preaching has really gone to the dogs. I think about that, and that's just one of those stories. But it really took over at a specific time. Of course, y'all know, because you went on some, that Dad on mission trips was a beast. He worked and worked and worked. But the last day was going to be a fun day. He was going to take off. He was going to do something kind of silly and fun. And that year, I remember Dad still had a couple of studies he was trying to close out. And so he went down to the pier and negotiated to get a boat. And so we got on this little boat that looked like it probably would sink just us getting in it. I was 16 or 17 years old, just a kid. I was the youngest one on the trip. And about 7 of us piled onto that little boat, and we're going to go across to the Keys. Just a little fishing boat, a little 1-2-man fishing boat, you know, and that's all it was. And it had a motor on the back, and this guy, this Belizean that was piloting the thing, and Dad negotiated with a price, and then Dad left, if I remember correctly. Dad left. And so we're going across, and we'd not gone far. We were far enough from land that we couldn't see the pier anymore, but we were not close enough to the Keys yet that we could see any of the little islands sticking out, any of the land sticking out there. And I was so excited about this, but I was scared to death. This bunch of guys in this boat, and suddenly this guy started fiddling with the motor and everything, and the motor died. And I don't remember all the details. I wish I remembered it. All the details. I remember one thing specifically. Don't remember all the details, but I remember he started indicating that the motor was not working, and for whatever reason, he started indicating he needed more money to get the motor working, as if he could take it to a mechanic while we're out there in the water and get it fixed and we got more money. But for whatever reason, he indicated he needed more money, and here's what I remember. I remember Tony was sitting in the front of the boat, and he had heard all of it he could stand, and he stood that big 6 foot 12 frame up. I don't know how tall he was, but he seemed like a giant of a man. He stood that frame up and he said, "You don't get any more money, Pablo. You get this boat back to the pier." I looked like he was going to die. Tony said, "If you don't, you're going in the water." And suddenly the motor got fixed. I don't know how it happened, but Tony just had a way about him, a presence about him, and then he just kept on laughing and talking and being himself. It was always fun to be around him, and I know you're going to miss him, but the great thing is that while we grieve, and we do, we don't grieve like people without hope, and you're blessed people. You're blessed that you had a dad, a husband who loved you and who taught you great things, and I wish you good days ahead. Know you're in my prayers today and the days ahead, and God bless all of you.